Part 1. Know thy not self. I grew up in a very unsafe environment, and by the age of about 9, my nervous system was completely in a state of freeze, which is called low-level chronic dysregulation. And as a result, I began to identify with the nervous system bodily experiences of someone in extreme danger. And so I thought there was something really wrong with me and that I needed fixing. And sadly, my story is not uncommon. And the allopathic Western medical approach to our body and bodily symptoms, trying to fix them instead of understanding the wisdom that is trying to come through, doesn't help either. So there I was, 24 years old and sitting in my 10th ayahuasca ceremony. In the previous 9 ceremonies, I had felt no discernible effects of the medicine, which of course led me to the conclusion that even the grandmother of the universe didn't want anything to do with me. I now see that I was probably just so dissociated that I didn't even feel safe enough to meet her. At this point, I'd almost completely lost my ability to trust. But on roughly the 10th ceremony, something shifted, and suddenly there we were, dancing on a ray of light, shooting through space, as she generously lavished me with insights and revelations and reassurances. I was feeling absolutely amazing. And then she said this. "Alex," she whispered, "you have absolutely no idea who you are." And at the time, I thought this was the most terrible news that I could receive. It was absolutely devastating to me initially. It meant that I was utterly ignorant and unenlightened, and all the fixing and the meditating and the healing and the introspection that I had done over the past 6 years or so of my life had done nothing, and I was completely unself-aware. And then the deeper truth of what she was trying to convey to me began to emerge. I realized, so if I'm not who I think I am, and what I think I am is not true, then all the very mean things that I think about myself, that I'm telling myself about myself, are not true. And with that, I found great liberation in that moment. And then after some open heart surgery, she sent me on my way, and for the next 2 weeks, I really felt like I had been completely healed of my complex PTSD. And I'd wake up every morning and I couldn't believe how good I felt. Gradually that dissipated, but what stuck with me was the very potent message that to know who you are not can be one very powerful path to liberation. Part 2. Maybe you'll get lost. In The Birth of Tragedy, Nietzsche beautifully illustrates how Dionysic art promotes ego dissolution, relieving us of the inherent suffering of existence by liberating us as we detach from our subjective self-identity. He writes, Dionysic art wishes to convince us of the eternal delight of existence, but we are to seek that delight not in phenomena themselves, but behind phenomena. Now we see the struggles, the torment, the destruction of phenomena as necessary, given the constant proliferation of forms of existence, forcing and pushing their way into life, the exuberant fertility of the world will. We are pierced by the raging goad of those torments, just as we become one with the vast primal delight in existence and sense the eternity of that delight in Dionysic ecstasy. For all our pity and terror, we are happy to be alive, not as individuals, but as the single living thing, merged with its creative delight. Now, I know I'm not alone in being falsely identified with things that are not me. I think that is the human condition. But what I find very helpful to remember is that we are not our nervous system responses. We're not our feelings or our thoughts. And we're also not a ton of things that we're led to believe that we are. See this list for details. So this video is for people who know that they know actually only a very small percentage of who they actually are. And Florescentia seeks to provide you with reminders on how to peel back the layers and lose yourself and find deeper truths through engaging in a solid creative project. Part 3. Gone Fishing. In his book, The Art of Disappearing, Buddhist monk, abbot, and spiritual guide Ajahn Brahm describes the right effort required to experience true liberation. He writes of the simplicity of the meditation process. This is how you become free. The path, insight, bliss, deep meditation is right there in your heart. All you need to do is follow the instructions. Sit down, shut up, watch, and don't get involved. Gradually, the meditation experience will open up all by itself. So the path, the creative path, follows the same law of liberation. Insight, bliss, uninhibited creative expression is right there in your heart. All you need to do is follow the instructions. Sit down or slow down, shut up, listen deeply, and don't get involved. Become less involved in the story of you as shadows are revealed and you realize you are not who you thought you were. Gradually, the art will appear all by itself. And in a soul-led creative project, we do this by going fishing. Fishing in the waters of our subconscious mind. We set an intention to meet ourselves on a deeper level, and we cast our line out into the waters. Then we wait. We are still, and we listen deeply for any creatures that are ready to surface from the shadowy depths. All that arises is welcome. A process of unshaming ensues, and we listen, but we don't get involved. Then the parts of ourselves that we meet and the things we learn can be incorporated into our creative project. They provide inspiration and creative insights that infuse the project with so much meaning. That is the beauty of a soul-led creative project. Thanks for watching. I've really enjoyed your company. My name today is Beetlejuice, and if you have any thoughts on what I've talked about or any questions, put them in the comments. And if you like this video, please hit the like button, and hopefully if you just keep watching these videos, you'll be more creative and you'll be a lot happier. And that's really cool. So, signing off, have a good day, and catch you next time.